The podcast you're about to listen to may contain objectionable language, adult and/or immature content, mentions of Jesus Christ, and unironic readings of holy Christian scriptures. If any of this is likely to offend you in a manner that you find less than enjoyable, maybe don't listen.
Hi, I'm Pastor Bob Schaefer.
And I'm Pastor Eric Damon. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome to CPTB, which doesn't stand for Can't Preach That, Bob.
You can't preach that, Bob.
You can.
No, you can't.
You can.
All right. But it's not what it stands for, though. What are we doing?
No, our program is actually comedians with pastors talking Bible, and that is just exactly what it sounds like. Every week, we bring on a couple of comedians from the Pittsburgh scene here and give them a chance to sit down with us and talk about a reading from the Bible.
How do we pick which reading we're going to talk about?
We turn to the Revised Common Lectionary. That is a collection of readings for every Sunday of the church year. It's what your church uses and what mine use. It's also what churches around the world are turning to, so we are sharing that with people everywhere.
So in other words, we're bringing comedians on to the show with little to no training in anything biblical and asking them to do our job for us.
Yeah.
And it's still a good idea.
Shh, don't give it away.
Right.
Right now, we have no competition in this niche. We don't want our colleagues to get this idea. We want them to listen to us.
The lack of competition does help us.
It does.
That is in our favor.
That's a nice way of framing that we are tiny.
All right. I'm leaving any tiny references out. But let's meet the comedians that we have brought on to talk to us and do our job for us. We have with us Harriet Riley. Hello.
Hello.
And Cassi Bruno. Hello.
Hello.
And thanks, both of you, for joining us. One of the things we do is explain what our lens at the Bible is before we get into talking. So Bob can explain that to you.
Yeah, because it's important when we have conversations about important things like life and faith and really anything that we acknowledge where we're coming from, because our convictions are really shaped by who we are, and it's good to lay our cards on the table. So Eric and I, we are both pastors in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and that is a church that confesses that the Bible is the inspired Word of God and the authoritative source and norm for our proclamation and our teaching, which is just like a whole bunch of overwhelming words that say we care about the Bible. We believe that it is God's gift to us. It's how we measure life and what we say, what we do, but it's also not Jesus. The Bible points us to Jesus, who is the living Word of God, and not the other way around.
And we don't necessarily expect our guests to hold to any of those convictions about Scripture. We invite you on because at some point in time you made me laugh.
Wow.
And so, again, really thank you for coming on. But it is, just as we gave our backgrounds, it's worthwhile for anyone listening, before we get into talking about Scripture, to know kind of where you come from in relation to Scripture things. So, and I usually have some intro that I have primed that I'm going to ask both of you, but I probably, as of all our guests, you two are the ones that I know the least about, so I don't even know what to dig into. So Cassi, if somebody asked you, what was your upbringing relation to church type things, what's your answer?
I was raised Roman Catholic loosely.
Loosely. So
I got held back in CCD.
Ooh.
You have to explain. I didn't even know that was. I was raised Catholic, and I did not know that being held back in CCD was like a possibility.
What does one need to do to get held back?
I think I just was not showing up enough, and when I was showing up, I was probably asleep.
Okay, so it wasn't like a failed the test thing. It was they felt you weren't dedicated enough to.
You slept through the test.
Yeah, I probably slept through. I would get yelled at all the time because I grew up down the street from the church, and they were like, "How are you not able to get here?"
But so you did the extra year. You went back and so you made it up?
Actually, I'm Italian, so my Nonna bribed our priest so I could get confirmed with my class and paid him a small fee of maybe, I don't know, $40 or something.
I like that this was prefaced with "I'm Italian," so as I mean, I'm not involved in Italian culture enough to know if there's a whole bunch of Italians listening. I'm going, "Yep, that happened to me."
So is the feeling that $40 is a good CCD bribe, or was that kind of extravagant, or?
I don't know. I'm not sure. At that point, I don't think I was really interested, and I think that my Nonna knew that I was kind of not interested anymore in showing up or doing anything. So she didn't want to be shameful and not have her grandchildren be confirmed. So she was like, just do it. So she just wanted me to get done.
So
get confirmed and be done.
Was your confirmation present like $40 less?
I don't even know if I got a confirmation present. I don't think I got any type of celebration.
The being allowed to be confirmed was your present.
Yeah, just being like, you're done. You don't have to do CCD anymore.
I have, in pastoral role, I've only ever had to not confirm one kid that was in confirmation, and that was a kid who never showed up to worship. And there's a worship you have to be in church on Sunday requirement for our confirmation, and the kid just didn't come.
Yeah, I guess that's a thing. You have to be there.
Yeah, so I had, but it's like I had to go explain to the parents that like I can't confirm them. This is the one measurable thing. Like you just had to show up.
Would $40 have changed your mind?
No, it would have had to have been a lot more because I would have had to go to battle with it. We're not priests that have like a unilateral authority over the church. We have a council that we have to answer to, and I would have had to go to battle against my council.
So they would have needed
they were the ones
to wet their
out
beak.
The month before the confirmation kids show up to council, they were the ones pointing out, don't make us say no. Like, let them know before they come that we're going to say no.
Oh, yeah, that would be awful.
And so it would have taken a lot more than $40 for me to go against the will of my council.
Well, how much?
I mean, at least rent for the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good for everyone listening to know.
For rent. I mean, there's nothing anathema to God about just saying we're going to confirm this kid. Confirmation's not even a sacrament in the Lutheran Church. Like for rent,
Sure.
All right, Eric has just established that he is a mercenary at this point. That's awesome. I like that I'm learning new things about you. And
I mean, not the like I'm not going to baptize the kid just for rent. But
all right, there we go. That would be crossing a line.
Good to know where the line in the sand is.
So, Cassie, what happened after confirmation?
I had a religious crisis, and I was like, I'm an atheist, and was really like existentially troubled for a long time. And then a couple years ago, I did shrooms, and now I'm like, something's out there, you know? That's where I'm at.
The
But
old,
I
the
do.
old shroom-based evagelism.
I will say if somebody asks me if it needs to be put down somewhere, I will align myself with the Catholics always. I know that that's a controversial thing to say. I don't agree with with the all of the troubles that they've been in, I obviously, but they can do exorcisms is something that I think about. And also, I just think like, I don't know, I like the weird superstitious stuff that we do. Mm-hmm. It's like cool. It's like old school,
There is,
It's an aesthetic thing.
Bob and I talked that Lutherans have not as an authoritative tie to all of that, but they have enough of it that my Catholic upbringing is able to still hold on to a lot of that. The mysticism of it. I mean, that's what I would call it instead of the superstitions. The mysticism, the the acknowledgement that there is really a connection to something beyond just what's tangibly happening in worship is a part that I still hold on to. But that is not just in the Roman Church. That would be in most of the mainline churches. You can still have a hold on to that. But that is what probably my fondest the things that I carry with me from my Catholic youth is the tie to mysticism of the Eucharist mostly. You seem to be mysticism of demon slaying more than.
Well, you never know if they're right.
Yeah.
I watched The Exorcist at a very young age. If that happens to me for some reason, I want them to know that I'm like, we're cool.
I did once. A member of a congregation that I was at approached me with problems with their child that go into confidential things I can't discuss, but led to the question of can you do exorcisms? And I said, well, there are prayers and things that a Lutheran pastor can do that would approach that, but if you're really looking for the true traditions of exorcism, you're going to need to go talk to the Catholic Church down the road. And I sent her down that way to go look for an exorcist.
Did they go?
I believe she did. There was that's why I said the things that were being discussed were beyond what I can disclose, but it was enough that there was real reasons for her to desire that to be beyond my just showing up and saying the appropriate prayers, and to really get somebody who could deal with it in a manner that felt right.
See, this is showing my ignorance. I didn't know you could get like a referral like that. I thought once you were locked in, you were locked in. You're like, oh, well, actually, if you need an exorcism, there's a Catholic's down the road. You can head down. I was like, okay, I've learned something.
There is a revival of I don't even know because I'm not in the Catholic clergy, but there's a revival of the clergy that are being trained for exorcisms underway for the last decade or so. Just the church had looked around and said that this is a need that needs to be met. And so right now you are much easier to find an exorcist than there would have been like 20 years ago.
You're in luck, Cassie.
I don't know. Is that
Social
a good
media.
thing or a distressing thing that we are in more need of a new army of exorcists?
I mean, I think the need of it is supposed to be distressing.
Yeah.
It's the having it that's supposed to be the good.
I'm glad that they are there, but I kind of wish we weren't drafting.
Yeah, I do think. Yeah, worrying sign of the times if they're recruiting extra exorcists. Oh no.
Well. I'm going to have to sit and think about that for a while now.
But so Harriet, we've gone down the exorcism road.
The power of Christ compels you to tell us your story.
Yeah. So,
yeah, a very kind of loosey-goosey religious upbringing. I think there's no real religious trauma in it, but my dad was a very, very good, young choir boy. And when his voice dropped, they didn't want him back. Because he didn't develop into anything useful for the choir.
Oh. No.
So that was him done. So they kind of were like, you find your own way, find your own path. We're not going to have you christened or confirmed. Although I went through a real phase of...
Canonically, this is Homer Simpson's story.
The choir master was like, if it doesn't go high and it doesn't go super low, don't bother coming back. So he didn't. He felt abandoned. So he was like, well, you find your own way to it. And we were loosely Church of England, which I love to describe as the beige cardigan of denominations, because it never felt particularly in one direction. It's just general good vibes, lots of tea and cake, and there's always raffle tickets on sale to repair the church roof. But I never had a real kind of deep relationship with the church. Also because we had an archdeacon who looked a lot like Anthony Hopkins. And this was
Is
around
that a
Silence.
plus or
No,
it's-
this was around
okay.
Silence of the Lambs time, and I was fully terrified of him.
That'll do it.
I was like, this. Oh, I could not see. I couldn't quite tell the difference. And for a while, I was like, he really viscerally scares me on a very
That would
very
put one off.
level. I was like,
That's,
Are we sure it wasn't Anthony Hopkins moonlighting?
well, like research for a role. He was like, maybe, but I was like, Archdeacon Woodman is probably eats people. I don't know. But I think it did kind of instill, being around that kind of culture did instill some of like the values of service and caring and wider community. And then I hit my teenage angst years and ran away from everything and was like, this is ridiculous. And it was very trendy to be atheist when
on
I
a
was...
podcast, nobody heard Cass aggressively nod to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone goes through that, your angsty teenage atheism.
Even clergy, usually it's part of our story.
Bill Maher came out with that documentary, remember? I think in like
Religulous.
2010. Yeah, I remember watching that and being like, yeah, get them. But now looking back, I'm like, God, that guy's so annoying. Because he's like harassing people in the documentary.
That's
But you know, you have a lot of anger.
Yeah, I mean, and also I went through a phase, all my friends were being confirmed, and I desperately wanted to be confirmed because my friends were being confirmed, and my dad sat me down and was like, that is not why you should be confirmed. It's like, there was...
You
there was
say,
also-
there was a
Dad, here's
really-
40 quid.
well, there was a really strong, like, forceful anti-drugs advert that was like, all your mates are doing it. And my dad was a little bit like just because all your friends are doing it. I'm like, okay.
everybody
So then
thinks
I
it's
was
cool
like,
to get confirmed
yeah.
into the church.
So then I was like, well, this is lame. You're all dumb and it's not real and this is all nonsense. And then I've kind of mellowed a lot. And moving over here and being around all the different flavors and denominations in the US has been really interesting as well and eye-opening and kind of coming back to that idea of kind of rediscovering some of those principles and beliefs and things.
I'm curious how U.S. religion looks from somebody's perspective who is coming here from the Church of England. And
Sometimes it's terrifying.
oh,
And that's probably just me being slightly reserved. But suddenly you're in a worship setting and people are yelling and shouting and like answering back. And I'm like, oh no.
oh yeah, that's
We'll just sit and read or pretend to be. And, and there's
that's
no
not a Lutheran response.
there's no mumble singing in US because
I like mumble singing.
there's
That's
a lot of
brilliant
I
word.
miss the traditional hymns, but no one really knows them, and it's too hard to open the hymn book. So everyone's just kind of like, Church of England songs. You can kind of get away with just kind of humming or mumbling, and you'll know when the amens come in. So suddenly the whole congregation just goes It's like you've not been singing the words. A lot more joy as well in some services and denominations, unless like we're all here and obviously there is that kind of we're just here and we're paying lip service or our dues because we want to get our kid into the good school. But it's been really interesting and seeing people be more demonstrable and using their faith in really actionable, powerful ways that I didn't see so much of. Like you can run a church fair and a bake sale in the UK, and that's like good for you. But actually going out and looking after people, feeding people, taking kind of ministry further has been really
Might
good
be
to
due
see.
to our lack of a social safety net. Just
That
saying.
too. I mean, yeah, you do get to be a little bit complacent in the church. You go, someone will take care of it. It's fine. Whereas here's like, no, we really do have to go out.
Yes, the church will help you out with your medical GoFundMe.
I was trying to put a positive spin on it. Also, thank you for being the person who did that, not me. You won't get complaints being this English woman showed up and slated everything.
USA.
It was a more positive spin than I expected on U.S. Christianity.
I mean,
when you
I
asked you
can
what
I
you
can
thought.
go dark. I was evangelized at one point, which was, and it was a work thing, and I couldn't. It was just. It's not something I have ever been exposed to, but the whole like laying on of hands and who wants to be saved right now in front of I was, this is very much not what I'm used to, and I don't understand this, and I wasn't expecting this to happen in this situation because
like
I was just at a community
people?
event, and suddenly it's like, who's in? And I was like, please don't come over to me. You just see me sliding under a desk, going, not me, do not make eye contact. And so that to me is like, okay, this is very, very different.
I will say,
and made me feel incredibly uncomfortable
I
at the
will
time.
say that most of my congregation members who are lifelong small-town U.S. dwellers would have felt just as awkward in that situation. They are small-town U.S. Christians, but of the Lutheran flavor, where we do a lot of sit and don't actually like the person who does not want to be crowd worked is everyone in our pews. I will, during the children's sermon time, I will go out and call on them, and you can only get away with it by making fun of how mean I'm being to them, because they don't want to talk at all. They don't want to be talked to. They want to sit and be furniture while church happens.
And I should say it's probably my own personal character that I haven't gone out and found, like, the darker elements, the crazier elements, the more inflammatory elements. I guess I'm quite a reserved person, quite a cautious, and my friendship circle is quite tight. So, yeah, I haven't. It's out there, and when I find it, I'll tell you. But this was so awkward. I was just like, oh no.
Did you head straight for the Episcopal Church? I mean, that would seem like the natural place for a Church of England girl to go to, but
I mean, maybe. It's anything that I can just slope in and slope out.
I mean, they've got the Book of Common Prayer for you, and
I know, but honestly, big King James fan. I was thinking about this. I can still recite because every primary school in the UK does a nativity play, whether they're faith-based or not, and I can still recite the King James version, and I still get quite irritated when I hear a modern version. I'm like, no!
Oh man,
And lo, they were sore afraid.
That is setting me up for trouble now, isn't
It
it?
like pulls you out of it.
I'm like, that's
you want people to believe
some
this,
of the
you just talk
mysticism
like
and
me.
some of the magic, but I also get that that's detaching people from the meaning.
Well,
but I'm like,
I
give me
did
a
not
bit of
understand in any way, shape, or form King James only Christian until our denomination updated its translation, and now I am entirely in the camp of this is my translation. Every change I hear in the update, I'm like, wait. I mean, I've at least 3 times preached all of the readings we have, and I know exactly what I'm used to hearing. And then there's something different.
Yeah,
like,
I think it was a sign I was becoming more like my father as well, because he'd had a strong Bible education and would embarrassingly go toe to toe with Jehovah's Witnesses at the door, and then take a Bible and then be like, come back in a week, and he'd present them with an annotated copy, and it's so embarrassing when you're a kid. You're like, oh no, but he would be like, oh, this updated language, rah, 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 rah. And then I catch myself. I'm like, oh, Harriet.
Is your dad Hugh Grant from Heretic?
I think.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah,
I haven't. It's on my list.
You should. It was great. Great movie.
I would say that's a natural part of the aging process for all English people.
I feel like terrifying Hugh Grant is prime Hugh Grant.
Yes, and he was terrifying.
Yeah.
Great movie. Highly recommend it.
all right, you've all heard it here.
I'm just here to endorse Sheets
Go with Sheets.
and Hugh Grant.
Are you endorsing all Hugh Grant or just that movie?
Probably just that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think his current
It's
iteration
important
is
that we get that clarified.
it's curmudgeon Hugh Grant. Like,
And-
I'm in my curmudgeon era, and that's his best era.
And music and lyrics, Hugh Grant. If you haven't seen that movie, I'm the underdog Hugh Grant movies that no one's seen. Music and lyrics, Drew Barrymore, Hugh Grant. He plays an 80s pop star.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I don't think I know of this film.
It's a great movie. Nobody's known it, and there's like songs that they wrote for the movie that are always in my head, and I think I'm the only person that still knows that existed.
I had a major crush on Drew Barrymore back when she was giving potted plants to robotic characters. So,
Wow.
yeah.
There's plants in that movie too. You'll love it.
Plant.
I am a simple man.
and
Drew
there's
Barrymore
water.
and a plant. And
You've moved on from your
I'll
Drew
watch the
Barrymore
movie.
phase,
Yep.
and you're plant guy now.
yes, major crush on the Demogorgon.
Well, we are not going to watch Drew Barrymore films and do a reaction podcast. We are going to read scripture and do a reaction podcast. So, would you like to read the lesson for us, Bob?
Deeply and profoundly, I would. This is the gospel for the ninth Sunday after Pentecost, which is Sunday, August 10th. And we are turning to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself, and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. And this know, that if the good men of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and not have suffered his house to be broken through. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not.
You're about to find out why I got held back.
I think both of us were looking at the wrong side, going, "This is."
And then when I found it, he just started saying "come" over and over again.
I was like, "Oh, I like a bit of loin girding." Yes.
I'm sorry, just in advance.
Any regular listeners will recognize that was not the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition.
But I'm
Now I
very.
get it. I get why they updated it and they probably took all the "comes" out.
I'm a very happy lady. I appreciate it. I was like, yes, this is my Bible language.
This is your Bible.
Yes.
And
You're
Cassi
welcome.
is still over there going, why does he keep commenting?
I haven't laughed this hard in like a long time, so I'm thinking about I'm gonna come back to church, I think.
No pun intended.
All right.
God.
And see, for me, it's the verily. That's the word that I like.
Isn't that
I have
marvelous?
so much fun with verily.
a
And
good- yeah.
verily I say unto you.
It's a good word.
That is the one phrase from King James English that I would bring back. Just not even into scripture, just regular
I
discussion.
think I'm
Bring
yeah.
it back.
Just
I think I'm right.
So did we all understand that well enough to be able to talk about it? Or do we need to hear it in
in
updated?
more updated English. Let's give a shot at updated
all right.
English.
All right. If that Elizabethan English was not your native tongue,
Boo.
we
I feel like the fact that it's called King James makes it distinctively not Elizabethan English.
well, it is
mean,
the authorized version, you know.
Who was also King James super into witchcraft
Yeah, but I
and
feel
fully believed in demons and all of that. He was a
I'm just
interesting guy.
feeling that Elizabeth was not queen while James was king.
She was not. As a
generally, yeah.
history
I mean,
student and Tudor specialist.
Yeah, I have zero history training, but I felt like that was going to be what happened.
All
she
right.
would cease being queen.
I claim to know nothing about such things.
All right.
But I do know how to read a
You know
handout.
how to read the Gospel of Luke in updated English.
Let's see how we do with this one. Jesus said, "Do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give alms. Make purses for yourselves that do not wear out, an unfailing treasure in heaven, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Be dressed for action and have your lamps lit. Be like those who are waiting for their master to return from the wedding banquet, so that they may open the door for him as soon as he comes and knocks. Blessed are those slaves who the master finds alert when he comes. Truly, I tell you, he will fasten his belt and have them sit down to eat, and he will come and serve them. If he comes during the middle of the night or near dawn and finds them so, blessed are those slaves. But know this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour.
And this is
I got it.
All right.
you got it. What do you got?
I know what it means. Am I supposed to say it?
Yeah. What does it mean?
Is there a prize? Is it the lamb?
That it is. I was told to make sure I bring the lamb back home with me.
Okay.
Like I explicitly multiple times as I grabbed it out of the living room.
Bad luck, Cassie.
My wife said, "Make sure you bring that home," because I have a bad habit of leaving things places.
What about for $40?
That no, I'll go to bat against the council. I'm not going to bat against my wife.
Little flock.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically saying God is coming and he will happily give you the kingdom of heaven. So, like, don't sweat it. Get rid of all your stuff and just be ready to go to heaven,
And
basically.
which, I mean, that's there was, I want to just add context to it that
You should.
early Christian, so a lot of early Christians, like early, not, so when we talk about the early church, we mean well before there was a Catholic church, the Book of Acts church, really took it as Jesus is coming back anytime, so we can just set aside all of our earthly responsibilities and do nothing. And that's where the Pauline statements of those who don't work don't deserve to have food from the common table, it comes into place. It's not Puritan work ethic. It's, all right, this might take longer than we thought, guys. We have to do something. But there is definitely, I mean, Jesus does want everyone in this passage is saying live like it might be tomorrow, but it also might be over 2,000 years from now. So you might want to like plant some crops or something.
I did take it in a slightly cynical, Jesus is coming, quick, look busy kind of a way. Like, oh, this is going to be, you've always got to be ready because you never know when he's going to be here. And I was like, oh, that sounds quite tiresome.
Always sneaking up on you like a cat. Somebody should have put a bell on him.
Yeah.
I have preached the quick look busy angle because I had a boss really that I went to work for, and he was so intimidated by the big bosses that anytime the big bosses would show up on the job site, he'd run around to us going like, quick, look busy. The boss is here. Quick, look busy. And I'm like, I am busy. I can't be more busy. I'm working on the task. And I think there is a bit of that though here that you can take it as that you better look busy when the boss comes, or does it mean like just do the stuff?
Yeah. Just do the thing, live the life rather than. I think the bit that sits with me is the sell your possessions, give alms, make purses for yourselves that do not wear out, like as a message, and thinking about the prosperity gospel, and I deserve this because I believe in God, so I deserve all the money and I deserve all the things, and it's like, that's not necessarily what the original idea, and you can't take it with you. It's not going with you.
Yeah, we had that just this last week with the dude who builds up great big barns to put all of his extra grain in, and then he croaks, and he couldn't take it with him, and pretty much that's the moral of the story there.
Yep. That you're gonna die. Sorry.
What? I am? Oh.
So you're saying that you do not find the prosperity gospel in this reading? I'm shocked.
It's shocking. I personally don't. I know you can interpret. Everything's open to interpretation, but I absolutely that sits with me. It's the first It's in the first bit. It's right there, people. Like, come on.
And this concern that it is good to have treasure, but look for heavenly treasure. Don't be concerned with earthly treasure. That what you want is the treasure that doesn't wear out, the treasure that doesn't go away, the good of caring for your neighbor and of participating in God's love for that neighbor.
And don't worry about your purse. Get a good one. Make one that's not going to wear out.
That's right.
And you can stick whatever you need
Louis
in there.
Vuitton.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna go.
well,
I was
we
gonna go
can.
lower than that. I was gonna go. This is an endorsement of like classic Kate Spade.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
See, I was thinking
A
good
coach,
shit, but
like
this is a
Whatever you can find for yourself at
purse-related
Burlington. It's plenty
I
good
was gonna say,
enough.
let's be real. It's Burlington or TJ Maxx, isn't it?
Yeah. They need this message.
The TJ Maxx.
How many, Eric? How many bribes do you have to take to get yourself a Gucci purse?
Get a Gucci purse.
Yeah, right.
I'm in a lot of bribes. There.
But then you have a nice
expensive.
purse to put future bribes
And I
into.
do. I mean, I need the Gucci purse to make sure that my treasure stores up for heaven. If I just have a TJ Maxx purse, there could be a Gucci purse at TJ
There
Maxx
could be.
if you go there enough.
Yeah, you got to be prepared to fight people, which I'm pretty sure is not in the Bible.
Well,
Pretty sure it's frowned
that's-
upon.
That's why you have to sell all your possessions and give alms, because that'll distract them. Well, you get the TJ
Look,
Maxx Gucci
free
purse.
stuff, and you're in there rifling through, and you get your Gucci. That's what the Lord would want.
But I, on the pendulum of things, when you hear the sell all the possessions, I mean, there is the kind of negative look at the church at it, how much of the church makes that obviously metaphorical, but talking serpents, literal. There's that look, but there's the pendulum of it. Another way that the church has misused these demands is anyone who's actually asking for any sort of just dignity in the tangible world. Well, you should really only be thinking about heaven now. And there is there is the prosperity gospel that wants to say you can get all the money and that has a problem, but the church's willingness to look at the destitute and the poor we are called to give alms to and tell them that they're the ones that should only be thinking about heaven is a problem that I have when I'm asked to preach these texts, because I know that it can get heard to either end of those extremes in error, and that is threading that needle is difficult. And I just ended all
I was going to say, I haven't got a zinger to follow that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man, that's...
I just found myself wondering, Jesus saying, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And it made me wonder, where is Jesus' treasure? Where is his heart? What do you think? I mean, the man who's saying that, are we his treasure? Is God, his relationship with the Father, is that his treasure? Where is the heart of Jesus?
Doesn't
Right
he love
here.
us?
It's like Superman.
I say that sounds like a question for you two to answer.
Where-
Like, no, where is it, guys? Come on, you're supposed to be
Didn't he
telling me.
die
we
for
meant it
us?
when we said you're doing our job.
Well, didn't he die for us? So wouldn't you think that his heart would be with the people?
That is a legitimate
If he loves us so
theory.
much.
I think that rings true for me, that the creation is Christ's treasure, and his heart is with us. Maybe we are not exclusively his only treasure, but I think that his heart is with us. That is after he returns to heaven, he gives us the Spirit, which is kind of a way of giving his heart to us, to be in our hearts.
Because it says it's his good pleasure to give us the kingdom.
Oh yeah, I like that. It's
Like
it's
he
not
wants
just
to do it.
He's not doing this grudgingly, and it's not even enthusiastically. This is it pleases him. He is so damn happy to do this for you. I like that a lot.
So don't mess it up.
Well, that's
That's a Catholic
Don't
talking.
keep all the alms.
I was just going to ask, how do you mess it up? It's by keeping all the alms.
Yeah.
If you,
And getting, being greedy with your purses and stuff.
that's,
Do you agree? I'm looking for
Yeah,
from
you're
you
looking-
guys,
yeah.
am I saying the right thing or the wrong thing?
You got a very serious expression on your face. I'm like, I don't know.
you are unfortunately sitting with Lutheran pastors and not Roman or Orthodox, and so to just say yes or no is a near impossible thing to get out of us, because Lutheran theology is very comfortable in paradox. Just as I 100% agree with the fact that this is an anti-prosperity gospel, but my first thought goes to the other pendulum swing,
Yeah.
that this can also be used to tell people to be comfortable in their suffering and absolve the prosperity gospel people of any need to help them. And so the same thing happens whenever we say, can you mess it up by not giving alms? There is a yes. Jesus is very much saying, go take care of others. Do not store things for yourself. Use your resources for others. And yet, if the reason you are using your resources for others is to earn your treasure in heaven, you're not really using your resources for others. You are trying to convince yourself that you can somehow earn what God already earned you. So a yes and a no answer are near impossible to get out of me.
Okay.
So really, you can treat that as you would have to work really hard to say something so completely off that we wouldn't find something to work with there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Because I'm thinking about right now the part of Jesus Christ Superstar where, okay, I'm just going to say that I every time I did well in Catholic school or any church group, it was because I was referencing Jesus Christ Superstar.
all right.
So
So
that's,
go with what works.
yeah. So it's reminding me of when Judas is, yelling at Jesus because he's not giving to the poor enough. He's like hanging out with Mary Magdalene, and Jesus is like, well, he sings it, but he's like, we don't have the resources to save everybody. So like, you got to chill sometimes. So it's like kind of like finding a balance with what you're talking about with like, are you preaching to people that are going to use it to be greedy and to perpetuate greed because they think that it's Christ-like? Or are you preaching to people that are destitute and poor and just telling them to chill?
Yeah. And that is a real, more than even knowing what's in the scripture. That's both of us went to seminary and have continuing ed and all the things that help you try and know that. Knowing how the people will hear what you say is the most difficult part of preaching. It's the same thing as comedy. You've got to know what room you're in.
Right.
If you walk into a room and play a joke that for a completely different room, if you walk into a bunch of college kids who look like the stock photo that's used to scare my dad on Fox News, and you play to them like you're telling jokes for where I live, if I walk in looking like I do and don't automatically name that elephant before I tell a single joke, I won't get a laugh for the rest of the show. And preaching is the same way. If I don't know where you're actually hurting, I can't preach good news to you, because I can easily accidentally end up lecturing to people about the exact thing that they need healed. I'm being so serious.
Well, I was going to chip in and say, as a Church of England person, I feel very validated that I can be just in the middle. I can just sit comfortably in the middle, and that's fine. That's enough.
Like the Goldilocks of denominations.
Like it's just fits just right.
Yes. And in Superstar-related news, our regular listener, Sean, who is my buddy, just texted me the other day that apparently Adam Lambert has a single coming out for Heaven on Their Minds. And interestingly, the cover art for this has two names on the cover, Adam Lambert and Andrew Lloyd Webber. So Tim Rice, go pound sand.
Oh, shit.
That's the most Andrew Lloyd Webber move, though.
Yeah.
That's pure Andrew Lloyd Webber.
That is
Oh,
kind of
God,
a
I
power
can't
move
wait.
there. Yep.
Get out of here, Tim.
So there you go.
Good. Good to know we've entered into theater scandal.
That's right.
That's
Well, in the great collaborations of history, that's, to send Tim off into a corner. I'm waiting for you to do that to me now.
to send you off into a corner.
Yep.
That I don't think this happens without you. I can't. I have to wait until we're famous enough that I can pretend I did it all.
Next season.
Then I throw you out into a corner.
Excellent. No one puts Bobby in a corner.
Oh, that's funny. But so we have looked. I mean, we're looking at what Jesus is telling them to do. One of the questions I will often ask of our guest in an effort to get you to do our job for us is, we are, as I just said, I want to know where the people in my pews are hurting, because we are tasked with preaching the good news. That's what the gospel means the good news. Our task is not to give marching orders. The Lutheran understanding of the gospel is it is not a commandment or a blueprint for how you get into heaven. It is supposed to be good news. And so if you were to believe that this is actually the inspired word of God, you are holding the word of inspired by the creator of all things, what about what is in there is good news? Not just what about it, what is it telling us to do, but what's good news about this? Stay busy, take care of others. God's coming like a thief in the night.
It's going to be all right, though. And it feels joyful to me. I didn't read it and coming away going, I have to be fearful. I have to be. I'm like,
so
actually,
how so? Unpack. What is
this
joyful about it? Well, I mean, you just said it was.
I know, and as a natural cynic, I'm like, oh, Harriet, why did you say that? But it's not kind of.
Like, tragedies can happen all the time, which they do, and they are. But good things could also happen at any time.
And also, if we live and work and practice in a community, like is kind of alluded to, I feel is alluded to here, even though it's not specifically go out and help your fellow man, then there's ways to pull yourself through those situations and learn from each other and work together.
And the image of being watchful, it's wedding banquet image. It's there is a bridegroom and presumably a bride coming and arriving, and you want to prepare, and maybe they're delayed, but keep the lights on, keep the party roaring, and when they get there, be ready, because it's going to be good times and it's going to be joyful and a celebration. That's good news that the bridegroom is on his way.
I personally, I thought it was kind of cute when he called us little flock.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that part.
I like a little bit of, but some paternal imagery. I'm down with that. Yeah.
We've got this wonderful image in the stained glass.
Flock.
We've got stained glass in the sanctuary because this is the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church where we're recording, and the image is of Christ the Good Shepherd, and I really love the way that he is depicted holding a sheep, very much like that little lamb right there, and carrying it in his arms. And I think that that's a really reassuring image, the idea of a Jesus who will hold us and carry us and keep us safe and love us like little lambs, and that we are a little flock.
And that you don't have to be smart, because I grew up in Wales, which has more sheep than people, and they are dumb.
Yo.
They will find creative ways to die, and they are not smart animals. So we don't have to be smart animals.
Right.
We can be dumb as a box of rocks, but it's going to be okay.
Just be ready. You know what would also be funny is if he was. What if like what if we're all wrong? What if the Bible's just written like? What if it's for sheep and lambs? Like what if he's not even talking to us?
He said, "Have no fear, little flock," and he was really talking to the sheep behind everybody. And they were just didn't catch on.
It's like,
we were like, "Oh my God, he's talking about me."
That's like Star Trek 4, and the big omniscient space probe comes back, and it just wants to talk to the whales.
And
it's just something to think about.
And like when you waved to somebody in the grocery store because they waved at you, and they never got to the embarrassed part. Yeah.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, and we're getting it now. Like, damn.
Yeah. You still have time to convert to being a sheep.
That's so true.
You can be a woman in sheep's clothing, and the Lord will accept thou, thy.
Thou.
I love a loophole.
Nothing like a good loophole. That's
gird thy loins in wool.
Yeah, let's get. What does that mean?
Gird.
all right. So
Why don't you tell us about the loins?
all right. So girding the loins is so there wasn't tight pants and underwear and all of those things in Bible times. So you had your tunic on, and it was a way that you tied the tunic up around your crotch to hold things in place before you went into battle.
I learned this in Catholic school.
And good.
The priest said the same
So
thing.
why did
You were being tested.
I'm sorry.
Setting him up for like, actually, I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry.
I love that,
She's
Cassie.
like, I knew that.
Yeah.
I was testing you. That's,
See what they're teaching you at Lutheran school.
So that is.
I am a big fan of the online diagrams of how to tie it to gird your loins.
I feel
Could
like
you do it?
That's,
If we gave you a tunic?
no, I could not.
I feel like
I've
that is
seen the
very much, though,
diagrams.
I've-
I didn't try it.
I have watched videos on the different things you can do with a kilt, and I feel like that is very much in the same genre of stuff.
What is your algorithms?
Horrifying. So for those who are confused about the girding of the loins, that is just the part in the NRSV UE that is translated fastening his belt, which is so much less evocative. The master will come and fasten his belt and have them sit down to eat. He'll gird his loins, which presumably he's going to be serving them. At that point he's taking the role. This is a weird thing, right? We haven't even talked about this yet. That when the master comes to this wedding banquet, what does he do? He has all of the slaves who have been preparing sit down at the table, and he girds up his loins.
And he gets ready for battle. And then serves them. I mean, that is a...
Is it because they're going to be mad because they're slaves? And slaves is mentioned, and I know it's the Bible, and they were more chill about that in like those times, but...
He's taking on the role of the slave. He is taking their role on himself, and presumably he's girding himself up, I believe, so he can wash their feet and he can do the things that the slaves would do for the guests at the wedding. So tying in your man parts so that they don't flop all over the place as you're crawling around on the floor.
As you should.
You don't wish to expose yourselves to the wedding guests.
Keep that all in check.
Yeah.
That's polite.
And so, but he is doing for them what they were prepared to do for him. And there is a gracious inversion there that is unexpected. And that's also good news. Eric's processing that now.
I am. I don't have anything to say against it. I am processing the...
He'll find something.
what is the good news?
What is the good news?
Well, you're here to do our job for us because
Well,
that's our job.
I just thought, well, you're making it sound like there's more than one piece of good news. I thought the good news was just that like we're going to heaven. When people say that, did you hear the good news? Like I thought that's what they meant, but you're saying it like there's good news every day.
In a getting a yes or no thing, this is one of them that I will actually get about as hard on a no as I can get to. That if we believe the good news is about some heaven by and by that we're going to go to after we die, and not related to how we can live as disciples of Christ right now, we've missed a bulk of the point. That there's a lot of damage that has been done. The being able to preach this as just be happy in your suffering. I'm the king and going to keep everything, and you all get nothing because you have heaven to look forward to, is one of the greatest abuses the church has done throughout history. But now the fact that the kingdom in which we are citizens now last forever is the heavenly part of the good news, but definitely not when you die, you're going to go there. So buck up.
Okay. I like that answer better than what I thought was happening when people said that.
That might be the place to leave it, unless you had
now we can
further brilliance
end
to
there.
elucidate us with.
I don't have any current brilliance, so we can end there.
Just the deep repository of brilliance that you save and draw upon. So what do our guests have coming up? This will be coming out next week. So what do you have on your calendars? Anything that you'd like to plug other than our mouths?
God, next week. Do you have anything? I think, if you live in Pittsburgh, come to the Brookline Breeze on August 9th. Harriet will be there because I'm making her be there. It's going to be a street fair after a 5K, and they asked me to rally up some comedians. It probably won't be great. It's going to be hot, and nobody wants to hear stand-up comedy at 11 o'clock in the morning, but you might, so come to that.
You're doing 11 o'clock in the morning after a 5K race. I so don't want to that I'm thinking I might want to.
I'll buy a beer for people, I guess. I don't know.
I think that is going to be so god awful that I may end up with material for later.
Yes.
And just to be clear, you don't have to do the 5K to enjoy the comedy, right?
No, we're just showing up. We'll probably only wake up when the 5K's over. Are you running in the 5K?
I'm not, because I'm still injured.
Oh, okay.
Also, it's hilly and I don't do hills, but you're a runner. You should do the 5K and then come and do a comedy set.
I am injured without air quotes.
Well, they keep telling me I'm not injured anymore, but I'm too scared to test it in case it gets hurty again.
I tried to go out on a run the day after moving my daughter's stuff into I keep saying third floor walk up. It's like a second and a half floor walk up, but I still spend a day carrying all of her furniture up the stairs. And then the next day was like, I'm just going to go out on a run. And my niece said, like, hell you are. And now I don't run.
You've done enough.
Yeah, I'm experiencing back pain for the first time in my adult life. And I'm like, oh, this is it now. Like, it started, and this is going to be me for the rest of my life. But I do have stuff coming up. You should. Cassie's show she's undersold her show. It's going to be fantastic, and come along to Brookline Breeze. But I also have a big show for me coming up on September 3rd. I'm headlining the Britsburg Comedy, which is at Pitch on Butler. Britsburg is a festival of all things British in Pittsburgh, and cool. I am Pittsburgh's premier British comedian because there's no one else now. Nice. Helen Wilde's left.
And you are on Pittsburgh's premier theological comedy podcast.
Because there's no one else. They didn't even leave. There's
By
just
default, we're the champions, right?
Excellent. And where can we find you guys on social media?
My handle is at Cassi, CASSI_DGDICCI.
And I'm Harriet Riley Comedy on Instagram, and I'm not going to spell it.
And we are at CPTB Pod, at CPTB POD. I did spell that. It wasn't easy.
Thank you both again for joining us.
Yes, and thank you to everybody out there who is still listening. If we offended you, we're sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you listen to the whole show. We are not sorry. I tell you this every time.
Cassie is sorry. She said so.
All right, Cassie, I'm not.
She's a better person than we are. But look, you are still here. So do us a favor. Subscribe to CPTB in all of the places you get your podcast. Share us with your friends, your family, anyone you think is going to enjoy it.
Share it with people you think will hate it too. We'll take the listeners.
Share us over in Great Britain. We would love the international audience. But we'll be back next week with a short take.
Until then, may the Holy Spirit do her thing in your life.